Hello, people. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome and welcome to the BTC live update for tonight. How you guys doing? We have here some information that we want to bring to you guys in case, some of you may be lost and want to know what's going on with the charts. We're going to start off a little bit with some on-chain analysis for you guys. We have Glassnode, and the first thing we want to take a look at for you all is going to be BTC addresses here that have a balance of 1K or more. And one of the things, to realize is that having a balance of 1K or more, this is indicating, the number of BTCs that are in the wallet. And this is going to be people with big money. And if they're accumulating, that's a good thing for the asset. And as you can see right here, I have the chart up. The resolution is set to 1 day. And we have the most recent movement here that we can see. Oh, excuse me. I have to fix that up for you guys. So if we see here, this is the most recent dump that we had. But if you can notice that we're actually picking up on the accumulation here of BTC addresses that are accumulating 1,000 or more BTCs, which is actually really bullish. And the other thing that we have to take note of is that we have BTC addresses that are, becoming more active. Before, we've seen a steady decline of active addresses, which would indicate to me more of the retail side not getting into it because of, FOMO and whatnot. So one of the things we have noticed that, and what I'm hoping for, is that this was a bottom for the number of active addresses. And, we are capitulating and starting to recuperate here. So it is looking a little bit bullish there. The next thing, we want to take this to, to show how this is reacting on the charts is we're going to bring up the BTC chart for you all here really quickly. Just give me one moment. So if I could bring up the BTC chart for you. We have a few things that are happening and a few patterns that I want to discuss with you all, and potential, price targets and things to play out for BTC to look out for. Recently, we have seemingly found the nice bottom here. One of the things that we were tracking from something that one of our community members pointed out, Mr. Pete, is this wedge, this ascending wedge here that BTC is in. We do have two clean touches on the top and the bottom. Currently, we are trading sort of in the middle of the wedge. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen with the price at the moment. If we get a fib retracement here from this swing low to swing high, you'll notice here that the price is perfectly bounced on the 0.5 fib level. Generally, in a lot of, market sentiment, the golden pocket is where you want to look for as a zone to buy. But one of my strategies would actually be not to put all the money in by the golden pocket, but to dollar cost average. Even if I'm doing futures trading with leverage, I'm going to want to put some of the order in at the 0.5 and some at the 0.618 if it's going to be an overall bullish movement. Vice versa, if we were going the other direction, it would still be the same, but just in reverse. So let's look at some of these patterns that's been playing out. If you notice from yesterday, we did talk about this rounded bottom playing out on Bitcoin, which is a classic pattern that once it does happen, usually it's followed by a nice upward movement breaking out of the zone. Right now, we are seeing some resistance here at the 35K level, which was expected. It is a psychological zone, and it's natural. But what can we look out for? So let's get some drawings on our chart here and see if we can kind of get an idea of what's going on with the price. The first thing I'm going to look at is to bring up the EMA ribbons. The one thing that I really like is that we are trading in the middle of the ribbons. Consolidating in between the ribbons is actually pretty bullish. And currently we did break from below it, and it does look like we are seemingly finding some support. Now, if I get this fib retracement back on the screen here for this fresh chart that I have, go ahead and fix that for you. We have the 0.5 fib level here. What I'm looking for is a bounce at no more than the 0.382 fib level here. which is, give me 1 second. If I could just get my arrow for you, Gaul. In case you can't see where it's at on the screen, some of you might be looking on mobile and whatnot. So we have an arrow here for you. So the 382 fib level is where I'm looking to for a bounce, which would still be in the zone of the 50 EMA, which, the further we get away from that, I start getting to question, what I would want to happen at that point. But currently, we are above the 50. We are looking bullish there. We are seemingly with this rounded bottom, which is a bullish movement. Generally, if it's the other way around and you start seeing rounded tops, then that's when you start thinking maybe you want to get out of your positions if you're in the long. So what can we look out for here? One of the things that I've noticed is a potential for an actual cup and handle pattern. So if you look here, there is a potential for this cup and handle to play out. What would be the price target for that? Now, a lot of people say, oh, they assume, shouldn't the neckline be horizontal? In most cases, yes. But I would make the argument that it could be the horizontal neckline here. And the cup is created by this kind of candle that dumped down. So let's go ahead and do that for you all. We have the neckline here. Let's get a price target. If this is a cup and handle, one of the general rules for a cup and handle is that the price does not retrace more than half of the distance, the size of the depth of the bowl of the cup. So we have here the depth of the bowl. The price should not retrace more than half that. So we're looking for obviously a bounce somewhere in this zone. I'm not sure if this past candle was the actual bounce. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but we are currently printing a new 4-hourly candle, which currently it is red, and that was to be expected. But if we take this price target and let's say we do come down to the 382 and find support there, ultimately the price target for this would be 35,900, which would break us, past the psychological zone that we've been having such difficulty for the past week or so getting past. Alongside this bullish pattern, we do have another bullish pattern that potentially is also playing out in the same area. If we go here and get our head and shoulders tool, we can actually draw an inverse head and shoulders that's potentially playing out for Bitcoin right now. On the 4-hour and the 1 hour is also noticeable, but this is the question. Are we forming a right shoulder, and where would be the actual, limit, the bounce for it? If we do come down to the 382 and we come up, the target for this one is very similar to the cup and handle, except this one's going to come down to the shoulder and we'll have a very similar price target. But this one in this case is 36,000. So the zone that I'm looking for potentially for a price target is an area between the 35,900 and 36,000 for a potential, target of these two bullish movements if they do play out, which would be really nice for Bitcoin. I'm not going to lie. Talking about bullish movements, if we get to the Ethereum chart, we did have this breakdown. That's one thing we have to take note of. We broke down from this triangle a while back, and everybody was pretty sad. But the good news is that we kind of held the zone, and we didn't kind of break it and make too much of lower lows from the previous low that we had. And so far against BTC, Ethereum is outperforming it, very well, if I might add. One pattern that I did notice here, which I would like to point out, is the potential for a W pattern that is playing out currently. So if I can get my path tool here for you guys and draw out a path here, we have the first leg of the W here, the move up to the neck, the formation of the bottom of the second leg, and now we have a nice long right leg that formed here. This movement that came down here would have been the retest of the neckline, and now we're looking for a price target. So at the moment, if you notice, this would have been the neckline right here. If we just get like a nice little horizontal line for you all. This is a neckline, and if you see textbook, we retested it perfectly. So what we're looking for is capitulation here, and for it to actually hit a price target of about 25.8 in between that zone. So this is what we're looking for Ethereum. Now, where would I look to before, this is invalidated? I would say we still have this particular zone here. As long as we don't break this low, I would argue that this pattern is still in play and there's a potential we will hit those targets. But that's something to look out for. I wouldn't get into a long position now, being that we're in the middle of support and resistance at the moment. The move would have been, from the retest of the W. So yeah, that's something to keep into account. But that's about it for right now. We just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the charts, just to let you know what's going on with BTC. How you doing? Visualize these. Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention to the chart too much. The chat. We were just trying to give a quick update here for you all. But welcome. Hopefully this information was useful for you guys. And, this has been Legal Talent from yarcrypto.com. We're going to be bringing you guys a lot more updates. We have a great Discord community that's building, growing rapidly, that is willing to help you guys with any questions on TA. If you just want to talk about trading, chat in general, we'll be there for you guys. So yeah, this has been Legal Talent from Yarcrypto. Thanks again, and have a good night, y'all.